In the heart of a town where the red dust of the earth always seemed to be dancing, Femi and Ada's house was a place of laughter. Femi was a man with a heart as wide as the Niger River. He was a successful cocoa merchant, known for his honesty. People used to say, if Femi tells you a bag of cocoa is grade A, don't even bother to open it, just pay him. But before I start this epic journey, please follow, subscribe, like, share, and comment. This keeps me encouraged to bring you more tales from the motherland. Also, do let me know where you are watching from. I would like to know which part of the world my amazing friends are watching from. Are you ready? Oh yeah, let's enjoy the story. And then there was Ada. Ada was the kind of woman that made people turn their heads, not just because of her beauty, which was plenty, but because of the way she carried herself. She had a smile that could cool down a man's temper even on the hottest day in January. When they got married 10 years ago, the whole village turned upside down. It was an owambe that people still talked about. There was music, there was jollof rice that tasted like it was cooked in heaven, and there was spraying of money until the floor was covered in paper. "Oshe, Femi, you have found a jewel," his friends would shout as he prostrated before Ada's parents. "I will carry her like an egg," Femi had promised, and he meant it. But before the years started to roll by, the laughter in the house began to have a small, quiet shadow behind it. 1 year passed, no baby cry. 2 years, nothing. By the 5th year, the whispers started. You know how it is in Nigeria. People cannot mind their business. One afternoon, Femi's mother, Mama Femi, a woman who used her wrapper to tie her waist like a soldier going to war, marched into the compound. She didn't even say good afternoon properly before she started. "Femi, my son," she shouted, her voice reaching the neighbor's backyard. "How long will I keep looking at an empty cradle? Are you the only one in this village? Your younger brother Tunde already has 3 children. Even the one that is still learning walk has a daughter. What is the matter?" Femi sighed, dropping his newspaper. "Mama, abeg, sit down first. Let Ada bring you some cold water." "Water? Is it water I will eat?" Mama Femi hissed. She looked at Ada, who was coming out of the kitchen with a tray. "Ada, my daughter, you are a good wife. You cook well, you clean, but a house without a child is like a soup without salt. We have waited, we have prayed, but my son's head must not be buried without a successor." Ada's heart felt like someone had squeezed it. She dropped the tray gently. "Mama, we are trying. The doctors say..." "Doctors?" Mama Femi cut her off with a wave of her hand. "I have a herbalist in the next village. He has the roots that can wake up any womb. Femi, if you don't do something, the family will do it for you." After Mama left, the house was silent. Ada went to the bedroom and cried until her pillow was soaked. Femi followed her, sitting on the edge of the bed. "Ada, look at me," he said softly. She looked up, her eyes red. "Femi, maybe Mama is right. Maybe I am the problem. Every month I see my period, I feel like I am failing you." Femi took her hands. "Listen to me. I didn't marry you because of children. I married Ada. If God gives us children, we will thank him. If he doesn't, you are enough for me. Do you hear? You are more than 10 sons to me." "But the village, your mother." "Let them talk," Femi said, pulling her into a hug. "Empty barrels make the most noise. We will keep waiting on God." 5 more years passed. The pressure became like a heavy bag of cement on Ada's shoulders. She saw the way Femi looked at other men carrying their toddlers. She saw the way he would go quiet whenever a naming ceremony invitation arrived. He never complained, but she knew. One night, after a very long prayer session, Ada sat Femi down. The room was dim, lit only by a small lantern. "Femi," she started, her voice shaking, "I have thought about this for a long time. I love you too much to see you end up alone. My womb has refused to open, and I cannot be the one to end your lineage." Femi frowned. "Ada, what are you talking about?" "I want you to marry another woman," she said quickly, before the courage left her. "Marry a young girl, someone who can give you the children you deserve. I will stay. I will be her elder sister. I will help her. Just, please, do this for us." Femi jumped up as if a bee had stung him. "Ada, God forbid. Are you crazy? Which kind of talk is this? I told you, it's you or nobody. I am not a polygamist. My heart doesn't have space for two people." "But, Femi," "No but. Don't ever mention this again." He stormed out of the room, leaving Ada in the dark. But Ada didn't stop. For months, she pecked at him like a bird. She brought up the names of good families in the village. She talked about how lonely the house would be when they were old. She even got her own mother to talk to him. Finally, after a year of Ada begging and Mama Femi's constant fire at the house, Femi broke. He sat Ada down, his eyes full of pain. "If I do this," Femi said, "it is only because you have pushed me to the wall. But know one thing, you are still the queen of this house. No woman can take your place." The second wife was a young girl named Ife. She was quiet, from a humble family in a nearby town. When she arrived, the village gossips were on fire. "Hey, have you heard? Femi has finally brought a replacement for Ada." "I knew it. No man can stay with a barren woman forever. Just watch, Ada will soon be sleeping in the kitchen." But they didn't know Ada. On the day Ife moved in, Ada greeted her at the door with a warm bowl of soup and a new wrapper. "Welcome, Ife. This is your home now. We are sisters." Ife was shocked. She had expected a lioness, but she found a mother. Femi, on the other hand, was cold. He did his duty, but his heart stayed in Ada's room. A few months later, the news broke. Ife was pregnant. Mama Femi almost danced naked in the market when she heard, "My God has answered me. The shame is gone." Ada heard the news and went to the backyard. She leaned against a mango tree and breathed deeply. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered. "Even if it's not through me, let there be a child in this house." The pregnancy was not easy for Ife. She was always sick, always tired. And who was there to rub her back? Ada. Who was there to cook the special egusi soup she craved at 2 a.m.? Ada. Who held her hand when she was scared of the labor to come? Ada. One rainy midnight, the cry started. The midwife was called. Femi paced the parlor like a trapped tiger. Ada was inside the room, sweating with Ife, urging her on. "Push, my sister, push. You can do it." Then a high-pitched cry pierced the air. A few minutes later, another one. The midwife came out grinning. Twins, 2 boys, strong like their father. Femi collapsed into a chair, his face covered in tears of joy and relief. Ada came out shortly after, carrying the small bundles. She looked at Femi and smiled. "Your sons are here, Femi."
Many people thought that once the babies arrived, Ada would become jealous. They waited for the housewife wars to start. They waited for Ada to start putting juju in Ife's food. But they waited in vain. Ada loved those twins, Tunde and Taiwo, as if she had carried them for 9 months. She was the one who woke up at night to pacify them so Ife could sleep. She was the one who washed their nappies and taught them their first words. To the boys, they didn't have a stepmother. They had 2 mothers, Big Mommy, Ada, and Small Mommy, Ife. Femi's business began to grow even more. It was as if the peace in his home brought a blessing from the heavens. He bought a car, the first in the village, and built a big house with a gate. Years passed like a breeze. Tunde and Taiwo grew into tall, handsome young men. They were brilliant, always topping their classes. And through it all, Ada was their rock. When they got into trouble, they ran to Ada. When they needed school fees for something extra, they whispered to Ada. When it was time for them to go to the university, Ada sold some of her most expensive lace wrappers to make sure they had enough pocket money for the first semester. "Big Mommy, why are you doing this?" Tunde asked one day, watching her fold the money into his hand. "You have done enough for us." Ada touched his cheek. "You are my heart, Tunde. A mother doesn't count what she does for her children." The twins graduated with first-class honors. They both got jobs in big companies in Lagos. Within a few years, they were doing so well that they bought their father a new SUV. But they never forgot Ada. One day, the twins came home with a big envelope. The whole family was gathered: Femi, Ada, and Ife. "Papa, Mama, Big Mommy," Taiwo started. "We have a surprise." He opened the envelope. Inside were 2 documents. "Big Mommy," Tunde said, kneeling before Ada, "we know how much you have prayed for this family. We know the sacrifices you made when we were small. You have always wanted to go to the Holy Land. Here is your ticket and all the arrangements for your pilgrimage to Mecca." Ada covered her mouth, her eyes filling with tears. "Me? To Mecca?" "Yes, Big Mommy," Taiwo added, "and that's not all. After you return from Mecca, you are not coming back to the village immediately. We have processed a visa for you. You are going to London for 3 months to rest and enjoy yourself. Our wives are already there waiting to receive you." Ife started clapping, tears of joy in her eyes too. "You deserve it, my sister. You deserve even more." Femi looked at his wife, his Ada, and felt a pride that words couldn't describe. He remembered when she had begged him to take another wife. He remembered her kindness to a girl who could have been her rival. Truly, the patient dog eats the fattest bone. Ada's trip to Mecca was a spiritual awakening. She stood before the Kaaba, praying for her husband, for Ife, and for the children. She felt a peace she had never known. But the real shock came when she landed in London. Tunde and Taiwo's wives, modern, beautiful Nigerian women, met her at Heathrow Airport with flowers. They treated her like a queen. They took her to shopping malls that were bigger than her whole village. They took her to the London Eye, where she looked down at the city and marveled at God's handiwork. She sat in a beautiful garden in a quiet London suburb, drinking tea and wearing a thick cardigan to ward off the cold. She looked at her hands, hands that had washed 1,000 nappies, hands that had cooked 1,000,000 meals for children she didn't give birth to. She picked up her phone to call Femi. "Femi, can you hear me?" she shouted into the phone, still not used to international calls. "I can hear you, my queen," Femi's voice boomed from Nigeria. "London is cold, but my heart is warm," Ada laughed. "Femi, I am looking at the sky. It is the same sky as the one in the village, but everything is different. God is good." "He is good indeed," Femi replied. "Hurry back, okay? The house is too quiet without you." When Ada finally returned to Nigeria, she wasn't just a woman who had traveled. She was a testimony. People who used to mock her now lined up to greet her. "Alhaja Ada," they would call out. They saw the glow on her skin and the expensive jewelry the twins had bought for her. She sat on her porch one evening, watching her grandchildren play in the yard. Ife sat beside her, peeling oranges. "Sister," said Ife softly, "thank you for not hating me." Ada smiled and took a slice of orange. "Hate is a heavy load, Ife. Love is much lighter to carry. Look at us now. Look at our children. If I had chosen bitterness, where would we be?" And so, the story of Femi and Ada became a legend in their town. It taught everyone a lesson that no school book could teach. When you find a good partner, hold them tight. When life gives you a hard path, walk it with grace. Because in the end, unity and love will always build a house that no wind can blow down. Please don't forget to click subscribe, follow, like, share, and comment to see more interesting videos of mine. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.